Richmond journalism teaching studio on the University of Illinois campus. UI-7 News, your U of I news source.
Good evening, I'm Celeste Love.
And I'm Samantha Chatman. Tonight we have a special edition of UI-7 News. Instead of bringing you today's current events, we'll be introducing you to some of Central Illinois' most fascinating fields.
These people have passions that are out of the ordinary and manage to get paid for it. Now we're taking the chance to share their stories.
We'll bring you a story about a woman who uses her gift to see into the future.
Fighting in the workplace is common for this couple. We'll explain why.
Plus, for one woman, singing isn't just about using your voice. Students are prepping their vocals through movement.
And call him Santa's helper. Reindeer are roaming happily in Rantoul thanks to this man.
We have all that and more.
That's coming up on this special edition of UI-7 News.
Our first story gives you an inside look on a fascinating field that helps people reach their inner psychic, a job an Urbana woman claims to have mastered over time.
Feel like you should be stronger than that.
Yeah, no, there's definitely some odd similarities to that.
Since the age of 16, Deborah Stewart has guided people in their quest for the unknown. But she's more than just a tarot card reader.
Some people would call me a psychic. I do intuitive counseling. I do divination.
Stewart says she grew up in a haunted house, seeing things even she couldn't understand, but she was determined to make sense of her surroundings.
I did like everybody else does at first. The little booklet comes with the cards, and I looked at the book, and I looked at the cards, and I looked at the book, and I looked at the cards. And finally I got brave enough to start reading without the book.
She developed the skill of reading intuitions. She also uses objects like candles and crystals to help sharpen her insight, and teaches others to do the same at the International Galleries in Lincoln Square Mall. And she does her readings right here in the back of the store. Allegra Wentworth has been working with Stewart for almost 2 years now. She says words can't begin to describe what she's learned in her sessions.
I mean, there were some things I already knew, but that was also what was interesting, is she told me things that only I thought I knew. So, that kind of stuff is really cool.
After working for almost 1 million clients over the years, many still want to know if she's a psychic.
No, because I think it's a sweeping term, and I think it gives people the wrong idea. And it also sets you up above other people, which I don't do. I do what I do, and I do it well.
In Urbana, Samantha Chatman, UI-7 News.
Intuitive counseling isn't the only niche field in Champaign-Urbana. Many people think pipe smoking is a thing of the past, but one Champaign man shows us there's a lot of demand to keep pipes up to snuff. UI-7's Michelle Medeiros shares what it takes to work in a pipe shop.
Pipe smokers are few and far between, but the people that restore pipes are even harder to come by.
I get to use a pocket knife, and I'll have to create optical illusions by whittling in certain ways and sculpting in order to conceal damage.
It's a skill Michael Ledoux has been perfecting for years. These days, you can find him whittling away in John's pipe shop.
I do most of the restoring on. We restore them. Things that aren't made any longer, things that are very collectible, things that are rare, unique, potentially valuable.
But before he worked on the collectibles, he said it took him years to learn the craft.
Teenager. Probably longer than that, because I used to work on my grandfather and uncle's pipes. We'd go visit relatives, and I'd mess around with them, and they'd go, "Well, before you destroy one, we better show you what they're about and how to treat them." And they did.
From the start to where he is now, Ledoux's knowledge about pipes is what keeps customers coming back to the store.
He can look at a pipe from 10 feet away and tell you that's 1964, this guy made it. To us, that's the game.
And his game doesn't just apply to pipes.
Citrus type blend, and Mike threw a name on it, smelled it, whipped it up, and my words to him was, forget smoking, I wanted to eat it. And I asked him about another blend, and he, as you know, Ledoux, grabs his pipe and he says, "You'll never know that one," and keeps conversating.
Whether you're trying to help a collector find the perfect pipe to add to his collection or create a new blend of tobacco, the life of a pipe maker is a very interesting one.
He's a good businessman and a good person.
But if you ask him why he sticks around John's pipe shop, he'll tell you.
Where else are you going to see so many beautiful pipes lined up right there?
Michelle Medeiros, UI-7 News.
Along with smoking pipes, many people enjoy drinking wine as well. One of the first wineries in Illinois, Alto Vineyard, offers wine tasting, and UI-7's Brianna Daniels met with a wine expert to show us how to properly drink wine.
Most of the time, age is just a number, unless it happens to be in a bottle. Illinois wine expert Ryan Dubnicek shares his expertise. While the best wine is known to come from California, award-winning Alto Vineyard was one of the first wineries in Illinois. Illinois wine expert Ryan Dubnicek describes how unique our wine is.
So our grapes are a little bit lighter in general, not always as complex. And you're going to get different sort of flavors out of them. So some of our native grapes that grow here, like Concord, those are not hybrids, but they're just non-traditional winemaking grapes. So you get, in the Midwest, you get some really sort of sweet, grapey stuff. And then you also get some hybrids that are a little bit different, but can definitely compete with the traditional standard of winemaking.
Without a degree in wine tasting, Dubnicek has it down to a science with 15 years of experience, and Alto Vineyard employee Michelle Pieper stands completely behind Ryan's expertise.
He's probably a 10 on a 1 to 10, yes. Yeah, much more expertise than me. Back over my head some days.
To give the brain more data while consuming the wine, he practices a 3-step method every time. Ryan has a simple guide for wine tasting. First, you swirl the wine to see if there's anything unique inside. Next, as you aerate the wine, take a sniff. Last but not least, then you take a taste. While in Ryan's hands, you will learn that there's more to drinking wine than just taking a large gulp. In Champaign, Brianna Daniels, UI-7 News.
So Celeste, have you ever been to a psychic reading or an intuitive counselor?
You know, I have not, but I always thought it would be pretty cool to learn what the future holds.
Yeah, you know, after this, I might purchase some tarot cards of my own and save money and read my future at the same time.
It'd save you a lot of trouble.
Yeah, what about wine tasting? What's your favorite wine?
You know, I'm not really a big wine person, but I do like Moscato. I had the chance to taste some when I went to Italy this past summer.
Oh, that's cool. You know, I'm not really into red wine right now. My palate isn't that mature, but I love white Zinfandel. It's my absolute favorite. Now we have a trivia question that will lead us into our next story that takes a look at the field of martial arts.
In the finale of the original Karate Kid movie, what is the technique Daniel uses to win the final competition? Is it A, the eagle, B, the crane, C, the hawk, or D, the fly? We'll have the answer for you in a few minutes.
There's a man in Champaign who shows us it's never too late to sharpen your math skills. We'll learn about this fascinating field after the break.
He's a waiter by day. Find out what type of self-defense skills he has by night. After this.
If you drive buzzed, it could cost you around $10,000. You'll face major legal fees, major fines, and steep insurance penalties. You could lose everything. Nothing kills a buzz like getting pulled over for buzz driving, because buzz driving is drunk driving.
So, I'm kind of new here, but I've noticed a trend. My human does this funny thing where she goes around and gets all my toys, and then she hides them in that basket by the door. You know, but it's always the same basket, and it's always in the same place. And then she acts so surprised when I find them, but, you know, she's putting them in the same basket. Again. It's like, hello? That's where you put it last time. You were the worst at hide and go seek.
Thank you for calling your GED Pep Talk Center. All right, now, are you ready for your GED Pep Talk?
Being nervous is okay. It just shows that you're serious about getting your diploma.
A lot of things are scary. Heck, I'm scared of clowns.
No quiero oír. No lo puedo hacer.
DMC, life in your pep talk style.
Just keeping it real, Debs. Just keeping it real.
Whatever motivation you need, we've got a pep talk for you. Get your GED pep talk and find free classes at yourged.org.
Suis la cadence, on lève bien tes hanches au bal du dimanche. Danse, que la fête commence. Dans ma belle robe blanche, je suis ton chou.
You didn't give up on sex,
Don't give up on birth control either. There are more methods than you think. Find yours at bedsider.org.
Hello, welcome back to our special edition of UI-7 News.
Today we're taking a look at fascinating fields in Central Illinois. Before the break, we asked in the finale of the original Karate Kid movie, what is the technique Daniel uses to win the final competition? The correct answer is B, the crane. And it's been such a long time since I've seen that movie, so I wouldn't have remembered that.
Do you remember that move? I remember I did it on my cousin a few times. I drop kicked him, so probably wasn't the best idea, but I've learned from my mistakes for sure.
Some couples are able to get along just fine in the workplace, but for one Champaign couple, it is a daily fight. Focus, power, and speed are a few of the many skills learned at Leaders for Life. Leaders for Life Martial Arts is a company that specializes in Taekwondo and leadership training. However, co-owner Jeff Newberry says they also specialize in a love story.
I went and watched this demonstration that they were doing at Walmart, and I saw Mrs. Newberry, and one thing led to another. I signed up for classes, and then eventually her and I started dating.
This husband and wife team have been teaching martial arts for over 20 years. The center teaches Taekwondo, ground fighting, and weaponry. And while their students compete, Tina says they learn more than just martial arts. What is the mission of Leaders for Life Martial Arts?
The mission of Leaders for Life is really to equip young people to be able to handle life's challenges, not only just in martial arts, but also in the world and the challenges that they're going to have.
A longtime practitioner of martial arts, Tina was diagnosed with a learning disability and says that it's fueled her passion for the center.
The diagnosis of me having dyslexia when I was really young, being singled out in school, being bullied, has really given me the fuel or the passion to keep going all these 27 plus years of teaching children.
Jeff also believes that teaching children is important.
I want them to be confident enough to not let anything stand in the way of their dreams, because I know that they can do more than they could ever dream or imagine.
Masters Tina and Jeff Newberry will teach you how to be leaders for life. In Champaign, to Let's Love, UI-7 News.
There's another martial arts expert in Champaign. He takes food orders by day, but can give you a knuckle sandwich by night. UI-7's Giancarlo Campos has more.
Don't let this waiter's charisma fool you. He can probably beat you up.
Waiting isn't a job that just anyone can do. It requires patience, friendliness, and the ability to read what people want, even if they don't really know. In such a fast-paced environment, it's easy to lose your cool. Over the past couple years, Cooper has perfected his craft and is praised regularly.
He's a server for me. He's been with me for a number of years. He's a hard worker. He does build great connection with guests. Guests will come and ask for him by name. I think Kevin's will be very successful in whatever he chooses to do. Right now he's doing a great job for me. I think success will come his way.
Although Kevin Cooper has a lot of patience and a very steady hand, you may be surprised where he gets it from. Here you go. No problem. Cooper may be a fine waiter by day, but at night, he's a highly sought-after martial arts instructor. He teaches adults, but gets the most enjoyment teaching children Bagua, a variation of Tai Chi, a Chinese martial art. Although he's skilled in advanced martial arts, Cooper mainly teaches beginner self-defense and stress relief classes. His goal is to give back to the community.
I'm a people person. I love to talk to people, and it's never the same from a day-to-day basis. I love to help people, help them with life problems or just help them with self-confidence.
Cooper's teaching partner says they love their job, regardless of the pay.
For the most part, we don't charge a lot to teach. So we want to make it more about attitude. 4, 3, we want them to appreciate our culture. We try to set things up to be a pay-it-forward kind of thing. It takes a kind of special individual to want to do it. I'm really lucky to get to it.
From Champaign, Giancarlo Campos, UI-7 News.
Music comes in many styles, as do singers. UI-7's Joanna Novak will introduce you to a vocal instructor whose nurturing approach lets her students flourish and have fun too.
Next, yes. H. Hope. Hope. And you know what? There's not a...
There is no such thing as a typical day for vocal instructor Janet Robb. With students ranging from 8 years old to 77, each day is a new adventure, an adventure that she never expected to stumble upon.
When I arrived in grad school, I started to teach because that was my assignment.
Rob says that she strives to create a comfortable environment for every student. Parent Jenny Eisenmenger is thrilled about everything Rob has done both for her own children and for the children of others.
It's that dynamic. It feels like, an extra community for them, another place for, an outlet to just be able to sing. And Miss Janet is so good with each individual. And we have some really big personalities in this group.
Rob attributes her unique teaching style to a holistic approach, something that most vocal coaches don't offer. She tries to create a mind-body experience with each lesson plan.
I had to study body work and massage therapy and anatomy and speech therapy and speech pathology, and to figure out how the body sings, that it's not coming just from your mouth, that it's coming from your entire body.
In Champaign, Joanna Novak, UI-7 News.
Teaching is typically something done inside school, but not for this Champaign man. Tonight, UI-7's Cameron Barnes introduces you to someone who turns his home into a classroom.
On my website is a quote from Einstein. He says, "Logic will get you from A to B. Imagination will take you anywhere."
And that is just what the imagination of 83-year-old Donald Cohan did as he decided to open up an in-home tutoring business called the Math Program, a program in which he himself tutors students from ages 3 to 73 in all different levels of math. Cohen, who was given the name the Math Man, spends most of his days and nights teaching many students concepts that he learned over the years.
Well, right now, I have about 40 kid sessions a week. And that includes I have individual sessions, which I count as 4 because it's worth 4 group sessions in money.
And money is the last thing that Cohen worries about, as he just enjoys helping kids learn.
How many numbers do you have in here?
Being 83 years old and working long hours a day, once tutoring 57 kids a week, Cohen knew it was time to cut down his hours when his wife suffered a stroke in early 2012. With less hours worked, which creates more free time, for Cohen, nothing beats the passion of what he does.
Just being with the kids, that's the best part, because they're funny and you never know what they're going to say and do, and I look forward to them doing things and getting better and doing well.
In Champaign, I'm Cameron Barnes, UI-7 News.
Man, I could have really used him in high school. I hated math.
I didn't have to take too many math classes here at the university, but I really enjoyed math in high school. It wasn't my worst subject, that's for sure.
But it's good to see him out in the community still helping kids outside of his own time.
Yeah, definitely. What did you think about the guy who waits tables as well as instructs martial arts? I mean, talk about multitasking.
I don't think I'd be able to do both. I've never, been a waitress, but I've just seen people do it and it looks very stressful.
Yeah, over the summer I waited tables and I couldn't imagine doing both. I mean, it's stressful, that's for sure.
Yeah, and I don't think I'd be able to spend all day with my husband either. That seems a little stressful.
I thought about that, and doing martial arts, it may help a marriage, may reduce the stress level a little bit, burn off some steam for sure.
Yeah.
Now we have another trivia question that will tap into the reindeer family.
Which animal is most closely related to a reindeer? A bull, B, a deer, C, a cow, or D, a horse? Back with the answer after the break.
Man's best friend is nursed back to health, pampered and groomed.
Grandma got run over by one, but see why UI-7 Stephanie Kim was kissing a reindeer after this.
You think you're just checking your messages or telling a friend you're on your way. They could be the last words you ever type. Make sure you get where you're going.
Bethany Ann Doak. Ian Donnelly. Kirsty Lynn Dutehit.
So, I'm kind of new here, but I've noticed a trend. My human does this funny thing where she goes around and gets all my toys, and then she hides them in that basket by the door. But it's always the same basket, and it's always in the same place. And then she acts so surprised when I find them, but, she's putting them in the same basket. Again. It's like, hello, that's where you put it last time. You were the worst at hide and go seek.
Get your ass out. You're not sitting here. Yes, I am. Move. Give it to him hard. No.
Every day, kids witness bullying.
Why are you stabbing me with it? No.
They want to help,
Ow.
but don't know how. Teach your kids how to be more than a bystander. Visit stopbullying.gov.
Yo, check out this chef, right? Right? That's so gay. That's really gay. Dude, look at those hands.
Please don't say that.
What?
Don't say that something is gay when you mean that something is dumb or stupid. It's insulting. It's like if I thought this pepper shaker was stupid and I said, man, and this pepper shaker is so 16-year-old boy with a cheesy mustache. Just saying. When you say that's so gay, do you realize what you say? Knock it off.
Hello, welcome back to our special edition of UI-7 News. Before the break, we asked what animal is the reindeer more closely related to. The correct answer is C, the cow. The answers were A, a bull, B, a deer, C, a cow, and an elk. And earlier we told you that it was a horse, but they're the same thing kind of.
Yeah, honestly, I would have guessed a deer for sure. I mean, I thought that was a no-brainer, but I guess I was wrong.
Yeah, and I didn't even know that reindeers were real. I thought it was a Christmas time myth, so this was very educational for me.
They're definitely real.
A major surgery for a human is usually coupled with a long rehabilitation process. Take that grueling process and add an inability to communicate. UI-7's Brian Siegel introduces you to a physical therapist whose job includes long walks with a man's best friend.
Our loyal dog companions and feline friends often sustain injuries just as we do, but it takes a special vet and vet clinic to rehabilitate those animals back from surgery. Dr. Steve Jacobs has combined his degree in physical therapy with his degree in veterinary medicine to open Sports Vet Animal Medical Clinic in Savoy. And it's that physical therapy background that makes all the difference.
A lot of veterinarians don't have that training in school, so that's one of the things that we can offer that makes us stand out from a lot of the other clinics in the area.
The animals run on underwater and dry treadmills, receive chiropractic treatment, and even acupuncture. A structured series of exercises helps the animals return to full strength from even the most stubborn injuries. Clinic coordinator Ashley Hilliker says the process does just that.
When a knee injury occurs, there's a lot of muscle atrophy, and when you put them in the treadmill or do special rehab procedures with them, it helps them get back to where they were prior to the injury a whole lot faster.
Associate veterinarian Susan Heights says this process helps alleviate post-surgery pain for the dogs.
We make sure that their back, their vertebrae in their back are aligned and everything is moving properly so they don't get secondary injuries.
And it's seeing these animals return to full health and happiness that makes the job worthwhile.
When you see them come in and they feel so lousy, and then after you work on them, they feel so much better. It's just amazing. You can see them smile. You can see their whole body change as you work on them.
But it's very rewarding to see those cases where they come in on 3 legs, and after they're done with their treatment can return to field trials, fly ball, agility, and we see that in a lot of cases.
It's very rewarding to see that process.
Sometime your canine needs some extra puppy love. UI-7's Grace Haka will introduce you to a dog groomer who takes a holistic approach.
It's no secret, dogs love to be outside and they love to get dirty. Fur gets tangled, hair grows too long, and nails get overgrown. After some time, your filthy pooch will need to freshen up. One groomer in Champaign is known for her kind heart and special relationships with her doggy customers.
My passion is for animals in general. Dogs obviously are the most common and accessible to work with or do something with. So yeah, and it's just treating them right, making it better, making it I call it the Bark Avenue way. There's just a better way to do it, and that transcends for the dog to be a good, happy experience.
Bark Avenue is located right in Janice's house. That way she can work from home and allow her doggy customers to roam free in the yard instead of being put in kennels after they're groomed. She doesn't believe in kennels. She treats her pups with respect. Groomer Heather Bradham explains what makes Janice so different from regular groomers.
She treats each and every individual dog to the best of her ability and gives them all equal attention and focus and love and care.
In the end, it's all about the dog. It's not about the money. It's not about just making a living. It's not about, doing as many as we can. It's about what is best for the dog.
After a day at the spa with Janice, Shelby is looking pampered and ready to go home for a nap. In Champaign, Grace Hacka, UI-7 News.
There are many different types of farmers here in Illinois, but one even raises reindeer. UI-7's Stephanie Kim has more.
In the Midwest, raising cows, chickens, and turkeys are common, but what about reindeer? I visited a farm where a man is raising reindeer in central Illinois. These reindeer aren't in the North Pole. They call central Illinois their home and live on Hardy's Reindeer Ranch in Rantoul. Mark Hardy and his wife started raising 2 reindeer as part of their Christmas tree business back in 1995, and today that number has grown to 18. For owner Mark Hardy, his dairy farming background helped him to take care of these animals.
They're actually very similar to a cow. If you knock their antlers off and look at them, they look like a cow. They got a big nose, big feet. Things you would use for cows and that will work on these deer.
The things that are used on cows can be used for these reindeer, such as vaccinations, trimming their feet, and even the food they eat. But these so-called cows of the north have distinct antlers.
And they grow 3, 4, 6 foot of antlers in 3 months. They start growing in the springtime and they will harden off in the fall. There'll be velvet on there and they will rub the velvet off and then they fall off.
Even though the ranch is open from fall to Christmas, taking care of the reindeer during the off-season is not a problem for Hardy.
You need a shelter like with a fan on them. If it gets real hot, a sprinkler works good. They like winter better, but I mean summer they do survive it. So.
At the ranch, people can enjoy activities like the corn maze and hay rides, but the reindeer tour is one of the most popular attractions.
People go in and they will get to experience a reindeer, which is really neat. They're very friendly. We give them graham crackers and oats as treats, and the animals are actually climbing the fence to get to that.
And kissing reindeer is one of the favorite things for people to do. In Rantoul, Stephanie Kim, UI-7 News.
Wow, so we had some, really interesting careers. So out of all the fascinating fields that we explored, which one do you think you could do?
Honestly, I really like pets, so I would be more inclined to do that, but I don't know, I don't want a dog to bite me, so I would be kind of scared of that. Or maybe even a psychic. Sometimes I feel like I have signs and they come true. I don't know if that's my intuitive sense, but you never know. What about you?
I don't know. I think I would either choose between a martial arts instructor or a math instructor. But even since I'm not good in math, I'd probably, choose another subject. But I think being a martial arts instructor would be cool because I feel like when I went to visit the center, they instilled principles in the kids that, were lifelong and helped them to develop and become better people.
Now, if you're going to become a martial arts instructor, that means you know how to fight. That means you're a little tough.
Well, you gotta hang.
That's it for tonight's special edition of UI-7 News.
Thanks for joining us. Tonight we'll leave you with a glimpse of our control room. Have a good evening.
The only thing we know how to do. Said it's the only thing we know how to do.